Hey guys, Crystal Grace here and welcome back to another pick a card reading. So this one is all about what do people want to know about you? So with three piles to choose from. Pile number one, know that you know. Pile number two, forever in process and progress. And pile number three, we have you are the spell. So a quick disclaimer while you're connecting with one of these cards is that if a reading begins to trigger you in any way, please opt off of the reading. I do not sit here to conjure negative energy or messages to ruin your day, evening or night. Simply trust that maybe my platform's not for you or simply this reading. So with that said, let's jump into it. Let's find out, what do people want to know about you? Pile number one, welcome to your reading. So those of you who chose know that you know. Straight away with this card, energetically, what I pick up with this is that what people want to know about you is like, how do you know what you know? So obviously we might have some people in this group who've got really strong spiritual gifts, like psychic gifts. And I feel like for a lot of you, what these people around you want to know is like, they know that you know, okay? And I feel like what people want to know about you is, what do you know? Okay, so maybe there's some people around you who are, my throat chakra is closing up. So they are actually struggling to maybe approach you and actually ask you this question, which is quite peculiar, right? I would say people who struggle in that energy to approach you to find out if you know something that maybe you shouldn't know are either ill-intended people or like, well, guilty people. I'm going to leave it there. Maybe they're curious. Maybe they want to know whether you're into them or something like that. But we'll see. We'll see what comes out in the cards. So I found this deck on Temu, and it is very, very cool. There is no more on there like this, but it has double ups of the major arcana, and like you'll see in a second if you are watching the video, but I'm very interested to see how this reading plays out, because it's like mixes it. So for instance, I'm just going to show you, like it's mixed, you know, the high priestess with the magician here. It's very like creative is how I'm seeing it. But anyway, let's find out. It's massive. What do people want to know about pile number one? So we have the Page of Wands. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I really love intuitively connecting to imagery. That is my thing. I'll tend to draw upon key terminologies of the tarot, but I definitely thrive with imagery. Okay, cool. So we have the High Priestess did come out, so that's interesting. We do have the Page of Swords on the bottom of the deck. Just a quick shout out on star placements. Obviously strong Cancer and Pisces energy here. We do have air, fire, as well as water, okay? So naturally when I think about the Page of Swords and what people would want to know about you, I would have to say you're quite smart, right? And you're a person who's quite curious, or these people are very curious because they want to know what you know, right? And I feel like you got two pages here, Page of Swords and Page of Wands. So it gives me the impression like you're very witty and you're vigilant, you're very alert. And I feel like what people want to know about you is, where does this energy come from? Where does this intelligence come from? Like, what did you have to study? You know, how did you upskill yourself to be where you are today, to have the knowledge that you have today? Like, how do you know what you know? Like, how do you know to trust your intuition? How do you know, to pursue your spirituality? So I feel like you have a lot of curious people around you that want to know more about you, pile one. I actually think you could be quite closed off. you could be quite secretive as well here. And you may actually find, this might not resonate with a lot of you, but you may actually find when people are trying to get to know you, you might actually put a guard up, which somewhat turns those interactions with people into like petty arguments, right? And I think if those people just spoke up and said, hey, I really am interested in how you know what you know, as opposed to maybe trying to insult you or banter with you in a way that you're not open to that kind of communication. Or maybe you don't know how to banter as well, because not everyone is quick-witted in the sense of if somebody like fires shots at you, maybe you do struggle to fire it back because it's not in your nature to put somebody down sarcastically, because that's pretty much what banter is in a nutshell. So that's the whole vibe I'm picking up here. People want to know like how people want to know what you know and how you've got to where you are today. You could be very high energy kind of people as well when it comes to like career and finances and stuff. So people may want to know about that. They don't want to speak up. So maybe there is a bit of fear here, because when I think about the Page of Wands, you're very fearless, right? You know, what people want to know about you is like, where does this fearless energy come from? So some of you could be very introverted and with some people, and then very extroverted with other people. The Page of Wands tells me what people want to know about you is the adventures you go on, like the short-term fleeting romances you're having, any new activities or hobbies you're doing with anyone particular, or maybe yourself. Like people really want to get up in your business. Excuse me, that was so gross. But I would have to say, with the Page of Wands coming out, like what people want to know about is like, do they have an opportunity for you to like, do they have an opportunity to take you on a date, to show you what they could bring to your table for some of you? And that may come as a shock. Some of you could be like very in hermit energy at this time. So as I mentioned in the beginning of the intro of this video, please just take what resonates, right? But, you know, like I look at the imagery with this Page of Wands and he's holding his wand up like look what I made. So some of you are making something, and people, what they want to know is like, how did you make that? Like, how did you gain the intelligence to make that? You're a very interesting person to those around you is what I feel. Now, this is a really cool 10 of Cups here, right? So I don't know, I kind of get Akashic record vibes with the checkered pattern going up the side of the card. So I feel like what people want to know about you is like who are your soul ties? What soul ties do you have? And I feel like this could be like other spiritual people wanting to know this about you. Like, who do you invest your time and happiness into is what I'm hearing as well. So some of you could have a family, and some people, what they want to know about you is like how you spend time with that family. Like, how do you invest time and energy into having a happy family if that does correlate? The 10 of Cups in regards to like what people want to know about is maybe what brings you happiness, like, you know, what brings you fulfillment, what makes you feel secure, what makes you feel like in a state of a harmonious energy as well here. So I feel like you're on a whole other level to these people around you. I'm not here to try and blow smoke up your ass, but you have a very unique confidence about yourself. You have a very strong supportive network, or at least these people think that, and they want to know more about it. I also feel with the 10 of Cups, this romantic energy surrounding you guys is like people want to know how can they take like a relationship with you to the next level. Like, how can they, like, if you've got anyone putting in effort or working hard to try and like pursue you or like obtain you or go into a relationship with you, like they want to know like where they're at on that journey, if you are with anyone romantically. You know, do you want to have kids with them? Like, do you want to, like, you know, run off and buy a house together? That's the sort of vibe I'm picking up with that 10 of Cups. So the High Priestess kind of got like half gladiator here, half like you. This is sort of a very unusual High Priestess energy, right? But he looks like from the Roman era. So I actually feel like what people want to know is, like, are you their soulmate? Like, have they shared a previous life with you, right? But for others of you, I feel with this, I always look at the B and the J as a blowjob. I don't know why I'm confessing that. But when I was like 18, I thought, does that mean blowjob? Anyway, so some of you may resonate with that. So what I kind of feel here is the High Priestess is somebody who's very spiritual, very witchy, right? But maybe what they want to know here is, like, do you go into combat like with others from a spiritual stance? Like, do you use witchcraft to, you know, wreak havoc on those who do not serve your highest good, right? Is what I think some people want to know. Like, are you making voodoo dolls? Are you, you know, cursing people, making potions, you know, praying on the universe to, like, you know, end you, like, to end me is what I'm hearing. So that's kind of lol. But, you know, be safe with your witchy woo-woo activities. But again, the High Priestess is a card that will talk about spirituality, somebody having a strong connection with the higher power, somebody being very confident, listening to their inner voice. So people want to know more about your spirituality, and I feel like they're thirsty for your knowledge, right? They're definitely interested and intrigued by your creative projects, hobbies, whatever it is. People want to know more about this. So I guess the ball is in your court there, pile number one, whether or not you want to share this with these people around you. Like, and look, I think, I can't remember what tarot reader I was engaging in her content. I think it's something Dreamer. She's pretty cool. And my apologies, I can't remember her name. Let me have a quick look if I can find her. I should be able to find her because I've subscribed. So anyway, she made a pretty good point. Fuck, now it's gone. Damn it, can't remember, but she made a good point. Oh, right. She made a good point that, like, if anyone in her world is watching her content and they want to know more about like what she's doing and her spirituality, like, you know, feel free to bring it up with her whenever they see her in like public or when they're catching up. So obviously her friends and stuff. So I feel like this may apply to you guys. So maybe if you do have that kind of platform where you are like sharing your gifts, maybe put a spiel out on a video or even a post or whatever it is. I hope I can find it. I think it's on this phone, on this. Maybe I don't even. Anyway, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna keep moving because I'm on a work night and I can't be up all night. So the Hangman, right? So anyway, either way, a shout out to that reader because she's very cool, and it's shame on me for not having subscribed. So I'll own that. And yeah, like, you know, preach to people if they want to come and talk to like, you know, to find out about this stuff, and you're happy to share that, that's fine. If you're not happy to share it, then let that go. Like, don't take that advice. So then we have the Hangman, right? Patience is definitely what I'm seeing in this energy. But I also feel like what people want to know is like where you get your level of patience from. How can somebody like you, or just like how could you in general have so much patience with people with very upside down views of the world, right? For others of you, I feel like what people want to know is how, like, kind of coming back to this Page of Swords energy, like how did you get your perspective on life? Like how do you have like all this random knowledge, like all this sort of, I don't know, unusual perspective on life, right? I feel like you guys, based off the energy of this card, like I feel like you have a very fresh perspective on life, a very maybe upside down view of the world, and people want to know where that comes from. Like, how do you know what you know? Like, what did you study to have this point of view? I feel like a lot of you are quite studious and you like to read, or maybe you like to engage in podcasts and stuff, or maybe you just know, right? Kind of coming back to this Akashic Records energy and like the Roman Empire era. Like I feel like some of you are very connected to that. And people just want to know more about like, I don't know. I think they just want to know more about your perspective, but maybe the reason why they want to know so much is because they feel uncertain in their own life, like they're lacking direction. You're a person who seems to know where they're going, but you don't know where you're going. Like one minute you're going this way, next minute you're going the other way. So I feel like what people want to know about you is like, how do you know which way you end up going? Because you always tend to land, like you always seem to land on your feet. And the Chariot is a really nice way to a nice segue there and to close out your reading, because the Chariot says people want to know how you overcome, or how you have overcome any obstacles, trials and tribulations to be in this victorious energy that you are in now. I see the Six of Wands in my third eye. Like all eyes are on you at this time, pile one, whether or not you like it or whether or not you believe that. But I feel like you have a lot of people's attention right now and they want to know, like, how have you done it? You probably have done it on your own and they're very interested. So that is what I have for you. I hope that resonated. Let me know down in the comments. If you are looking for a personal read, head over to my Etsy store. Link is in description. See you next time. Bye. Pile number 2, welcome to, whoa, that's pile number 3's card. Welcome to your reading. Okay, did not do that on purpose. Maybe you need to go to pile number 3. Okay, so we have forever in process and progress. So what do people want to know about you? You're definitely moving. Like I feel like a lot of you could be relocating, but you are moving forward. And I feel like for some of you, we have this beautiful butterfly on this imagery, on this card. And obviously that is heavily connected to transformations. So what do people want to know about you is I think they want to know about your current processes that have allowed the current progress that you have been exposed to. So some of you are kicking some really big goals at this time, right? And I think what people want to know is like, how have you achieved this progress that you have, right? Like what processes have you put in place? I think for a lot of you, some people around you, they're aware that you have strategic processes in place that you apply to maybe a lot of areas to your life that seem to work out always pretty well for you. Okay. If that's not sort of resonating here, maybe the quick energy check-in here is like you're forever like working towards success. You're forever trying to strive to be better, do better, have more. So, you know, some of you could be really chasing the bag right now, and success in your career could be something that you are very fixated on at this time. So let's jump into it. Let's find out what people want to know about you. Is that what we're asking? What do people want to know about you? Jesus. It's only been 17 minutes. Sorry, I'm going to shake that camera around. It's nighttime, so we don't have the beautiful sunlight. Oof. Now, see how this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 8 of Pentacles, but it's crossed with the 8 of Cups. This is why I wanted to get this deck, because it's going to be so fucking wild. Okay. We have the King of Cups aligned with the Devil. Wow. I can't wait to pull the other cards so I can jump into this. We've got the King of Cups, who looks like a King of Pentacles. We've got the Magician, that looks like the Magician crossed High Priestess, and then we have the 9 of Wands, and then we have the King of Pentacles, which is crossed with, I would say, looks a bit like the King of Wands. What do they want to know? I have to say this is definitely surrounding your business, your success. If you're not excelling in business and making waves, so to speak, I would have to say that maybe pile 3 would be best for you. Doesn't have to be. So, right. So naturally, when I combine a King of Pentacles and a King of Wands, right, what would we be getting? What would people wanting to know is the question we want to ask. That's why I'm either going to love this deck or fucking hate it. It's going to make me work harder, that's for sure. But what they want to know is, where do you get your boldness? Where do you get your daring decisions? How do you make your decisions when they're so daring, right? Because the thing about a King of Wands mixed with the King of Pentacles, so it is King of Pentacles mixed with King of Wands, I should say. So you're very disciplined, you're very secure, you're a businessman, businesswoman here, very fucking reliable. You stick to forever processes because they work, and I feel very strongly about that. So what people want to know about you is, where does all of maybe not where does this all come from? Maybe it's a matter of how can somebody maybe a bit rigid, right, and strict come up with such bold and daring ideas, right? How can somebody who is so, I don't know, maybe a bit of a stickler with processes, right, and being on time, I feel like you guys, you have a very strict routine. You have a very strict calendar. If people may have to plan weeks in advance to see you guys. So I kind of feel like what they want to know is how can you be so rigid and strict, but then come up with these most far out fucking ideas that make so much maybe money for you, or help you excel in whatever it is you're trying to do. Hopefully I'm not rambling and you're picking up what I'm putting down. Now, I think for a lot of you, you are very very patient, you're very dependable, you're very generous, right? But I think there is this other side to you with this King of Wands, is where you are very charismatic. You're a passionate person. You enjoy the single life, most likely, right? For the King of Pentacles, there's somebody who's ready for a serious relationship, but they're also married that with the King of Wands. You enjoy the single life. So maybe what people want to know is, why are you not in a relationship when you would be amazing? You're 100% relationship material, right? What they want to know is, why do you choose the single life over married life? Okay. And for others of you, it could be simply on the basis of what they want to know is, why have you not found a serious relationship yet? What's holding you back? Why are you not making space for love if that's what you desire? So some of you may proclaim that you are looking for love, but you're not really making any space in that calendar that we were talking about. So people want to know, I guess, a little bit about your career goals, business goals specifically, but also your love life here as well. King of Cups matched with the Devil. That's an interesting one. So sideways. I don't even know. He's holding, what the fuck is he holding? A bowl of grapes and a flame. What do people want to know about you? Who are you waiting for? Like, who do you long for, right? The King of Cups is, a person who is emotionally invested in somebody, right? This dude is sitting on his throne with his little bird legs, patiently waiting. He's a bit of a slippery fish. You're hard to catch, right? And I think what people want to know is like, what is it going to take to catch you, right? What is it going to take? How long do I have to sit here and hold these gifts and presents for pile number 2 for them to come in, for my ship to come in? I actually think for a lot of you have a lot of people waiting for your return, is what I feel. So what people want to know is, when are you returning? And it's funny, it correlates with the 8 of Pentacles. My bad, I totally skipped that card. So that's a nice little segue to return back there. See how I did that? My brain is like, whoa, look at these cards. First time I used them, I literally got home and they were on my front doorstep. And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm doing a tarot reading tonight. So let's go back there. We do have the 8 of Pentacles matched with the 8 of Cups, right? Like, how much hard work do I have to put in, like, for you to return? Or like, what is it? Like, maybe what people want to know is, like, how hard do people have to work in order to keep you in a relationship, in order to ensure that you're not going to walk away from them? I think you guys are very, I don't want to say high maintenance, right? Because I don't want to say it because I don't want to offend anyone or anything like that. But being high maintenance isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like, high maintenance can be, high value can get mistaken for high maintenance. And that's the sort of energy I'm picking up here. I think a lot of people want to know, like, what's it going to take? Right? There was a very similar sort of energy in pile 1 that sort of came up. But I feel like you guys are so much more focused on your work life, your goals, the money, that you don't really invest time and energy in pursuing, like, flings or anything like that. You don't want to go on adventures with one night stands. You don't want to go on, it's whether or not you don't want to or you don't have the time is, it could be different for some of you, or align those 2 different ways of viewing. But I would actually have to say, like, you have people, what they want to know is, like, what's it going to take, like, to get you to commit? What's it going to take in order to prevent you from letting go of me and leaving me behind, abandoning me? You may attract a lot of people who've been abandoned as well here. So they might be very obsessive and clingy with you, because we kind of come back to that King of Cups with the Devil. I think what people want to know is, like, why are you not addicted to them? Or maybe what people want to know is, why are they so addicted to you? Like, why are they so worried about when you're going to leave their life? And I feel like this might even apply with people like you don't have romantic connections with. Like, they sit in a state of, not going to say worry because that would be really sad, but they sit in a state of like, despair's not even the word I'm looking for, but I think they dread the day that you walk away, that you find another skill to master, right, with the 8 of Pentacles, and therefore you want to go and search for, the truth of that skill, which, would be leaving an unfulfilling job in order to, like, I don't know, find happiness somewhere else. The other thing I feel with the 8 of Cups and the 8 of Pentacles energy here, it's sort of like, what people want to know is, maybe because you are chasing money, or money is a priority for you, maybe what they want to know, would you ever choose happiness over financial security? Like, when I think about King of Cups, if you're attracting these kinds of King of Cups, you got King of Cups twice. I didn't know that the court cards, there was 2 of them. So that's interesting. What was I going to say? Yeah, why are they so addicted to you, or how can they get you to be addicted to them, right? Because the Devil is all about unhealthy attachments. I just think you have a lot of people who are like, power to, but are like give me the time of day. Like, it might not be a lot of people, but we do have a lot of court cards that have come out. So you could have at least 2 or 3 people who are sitting in this energy, and what they want to know is like, when are you fucking going to say yes to them? So let me know if this is resonating, because like, obviously it's an unusual read. Naturally, when I simply connect with the King of Cups, as I mentioned, it kind of looked like King of Cups married up with the King of Pentacles. So I feel like that's jumping on that backhand, because the King of Pentacles is strong Capricorn energy, as is the Devil, right? So I kind of feel like with this King of Cups with the King of Pentacles, it's again coming back to this whole aspect, like, would you ever choose happiness over financial security? Like, meaning, would you ever choose a man or a woman who had less than you if they brought you true happiness, is what people want to know. Like, are you only like single? Are you only single because you haven't found somebody who brings the same kind of financial stability as you bring, is what people want to know. Okay, we got there eventually. Now, the Magician, in regards to what people want to know, crossed with the High Priestess, this would definitely have to do with a skill, right? So the Magician is a very skillful person. They're very intellectual, right? They're very logical, okay? And they're very resourceful. But the High Priestess, sort of blended with that, talks about, you know, your intuition, having higher power, somebody very spiritual, right? So I would have to say that people, what they want to know is, maybe what they want to know, actually, I retract all of that. Maybe what they want to know is, how do your manifestations come into fruition? Like, do you work with magic here, with the High Priestess complementing that Magician card, is probably what they've trying to figure out. You know, the Magician is something or someone where things just sort of appear for them. So maybe what people want to know is like, how does everything that you ever want just happen for you? How does it just appear? And with that High Priestess, like, you know, what spiritual, you know, tools or like tasks, or I don't know what you would call it, like, what spiritual like business are you getting in order for your manifestations to come into fruition? I think a lot of you are very successful in this pile. I think you've achieved a lot of financial success. If you haven't, people can see that, like, through Forever in Process and Progress. You guys, you're born for success. You're born to achieve. And I think a lot of you were born to do it alone. So I feel like that's why there's this energy, why people want to know, would you choose happiness if they were going to fill your cup? Because, you know, because of a romantic sense, would you be happy with that, is what people want to know, at least these men or women, right? And to close out your reading with the 9 of Wands, let me know if you like this reading or if it was completely shit. I would really like to know. Anyway, I always find like the ones that I've enjoyed doing, most people think they're shit. But, well, I'm not going to say that. The one I did yesterday was pretty fun. 9 of Wands as what people would want to know. Yeah, look, I think they want to know where do you get this resilience from? Where do you get your, you know, determination, your persistence? Like, you're always, like you could be in a state of fatigue. So how do you keep going when you can't keep going anymore, is what some people want to know about you, right? They want to know, like, when you're in a state of feeling drained, where do you get this perseverance from? And I think if you're represented as the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands combined, I can understand, because your creative energy is what draws you, or like excites you and inspires you to keep moving. But I also think money also is some of you is like your main driver. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Money's my main driver. I fucking love money. But I also love happiness, I guess. This isn't about me, this is about you. Yeah, so that's sort of what I'm picking up. You've definitely overcome challenges in love, or like for love as well, is what I feel. So people want to know is, how have you overcome your challenges in the romantic space? How have you overcome challenges financially? Like, where you are today is not where you were 10 years ago, right? Where you are today is not where you were like 5 years ago, 2 years ago. You are very successful to where you were previously. And I think a lot of people around you just want to know, like, how and why and when did all this happen? And kudos to you guys, right? It takes a lot to remain on one's path for success. Like, it's so easy to like fall off the path and get distracted, follow a butterfly over the rainbow. Like, it's very, very hard. So you guys should be super proud of yourselves. And yeah, that's all I have for you. Let me know if that resonated, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. So those of you who chose You Are the Spell. I think a lot of you, like, karma is your kink. I actually think what people really want to know about you guys is like, like, do you cast spells on them, right? Like when people, I don't know if some of you are in sort of like not an angry state of mind at this time, and some of you could be because you've just endured something quite toxic, right? But I just kind of feel like you are the spell. Like, I feel like what people want to know is, like, does everything that you think come true? Like, are you so connected to source that whatever you want, you will get? And specifically karmically is what I'm feeling. And I'm not even sure if karmically is a word, but look, hopefully you just understand the concept there. I just feel like what people want to know about you is, like, everything you wish for, does it come true? And I think also what people are wanting to know about you is how or why. It could be more about, how does the karma happen so quickly to them when they've hurt you? So I think for a lot of you, you are people's karma for this pile. You could be really good at fortune telling, like clairvoyant, like seeing people's futures. So people might want to know, like, how does that happen? So I will have to admit, like, I do feel like this reading, all piles have sort of intertwined with each other. So I would have to say that's because some of you are watching all 3 piles. So thank you. I love that. But at the same time, I know other audience members will be pissed off about that because they're funny. All right. I don't know. And you know what she kind of gives me, or this person kind of gives me the impression, like, you don't look easily impressed, pile 3. And it could be because you're just going through something at this time, but you look like you have like resting bitch voice is definitely on point, but you look like the kind of person that would take literally no bullshit. You wouldn't even let something slide right now, and that could be simply just the energy that you're in. So let's leave it there. Let's see, what do people want to know about you? So that is the 8 of Swords combined with the 8 of Wands. Now we have the Queen of Wands aligned or blended with the Empress. We have 9 of Cups. It's getting fucking hammered. Just 9 of Cups. We've also got the Tower that looks like it's combined with maybe the Wheel of Fortune. I know these cards are fucking wild, right? So obviously, like, my interpretations are going to be all over the spot. Like, look at this. Got strong Empress energy happening here, but that is the Strength card. Isn't it funny? Because normally the person is bigger than, sorry, the strength card's on the bottom of the deck. 10 of Wands is on the bottom. Okay. So 8 of Swords with the, such a beautiful cat. You should see this cat. I think I should show you guys because I know you like seeing this cat. Puss, puss. She's such a beautiful girl. Anyway, sorry. Like, that's why we call it cats and cards. 8 of Swords blended with the 8 of Wands, right? So what do people want to know about you? I don't know. Like when you think about the 8 of Swords, it's somebody who could be quite trapped or very restrictive, and blend that with the 8 of Wands in communication. So what people want to know is about something you're not sharing, right? Is what I'd have to say. Like even kind of coming back to that, you are the spell energy. Like maybe what people want to know is like, why is it after they stop communicating with you, they become very powerless? They become very like they might start being victimized by other people or feel a state of isolation, trapped, very restrictive energy. Maybe what people want to know is like, why when communication stops with you, does life get pretty like conflicting? Like they feel very powerless when you stop communication with them. And I think your cutoff game is very, very strong. And I feel like some of my, main audience that come back to each reading that I put out, there has been that sort of a bit of a theme there. My cutoff game is pretty strong. So I am a big believer the audience that we attract to our channels are people who do sort of resonate with the same morals and values. I could be wrong, but I definitely feel like that, and especially when I sit and read the comments. Majority, some people come along and write really fucked up stuff, but yeah, they're obviously bored or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Like the 8 of Swords is a card that talks about, feeling confined, experiencing dilemmas, powerless, like that kind of vibe. And with the 8 of Wands, it's about like forward movement and stuff. So what people want to know is how do you stop them in their tracks? Like how do you slow down their life? Like what are you doing in order to interrupt like their well-being, their life is what I feel. So you may have some people who fear you. I think you have some people who thought they could kind of come into your life, use you, abuse you, and then carry on with their life and pretend you don't exist. They may have returned at some point, and that's when your cutoff game began. Or when they chose to show you who they truly are, you cut them off. And what they want to know is like, how did that happen? All right. So this is very like serious energy, and I wouldn't want to like do you wrong. I feel like you guys have worked very hard on your spiritual gifts, your spiritual talents. You could be working more with dark energy. Just, be mindful of that. But I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. That's totally on you. So yeah, there's something kind of intimidating and like, I'm going to use the word scary about that energy. I'm going to move on because I don't want to harp on something that may not resonate with majority of you who pick this part. So then we have this Queen of Wands holding this baby in a basket, and she's got doves, white swans with babies at her feet. Now, Queen of Wands with babies at her feet, that's Queen of Wands mixed with the Empress, I should say. What do people want to know about you? Honestly, if you're single and you don't have children, I wouldn't be surprised with like what people want to know about you is like why, right? Why doesn't somebody like you have children? Or what they want to know about you is like how could they present themselves for you to consider to having like babies with them, right? Because the Queen of Wands is a person, or Queen of Wands would indicate like these people, what they want to know is how can they get you to being more open in considering having a deeper, intimate, like stronger bond with you. Now, these could be people, I kind of feel like for some of you, this is kind of suggested in past tense. Like this is what people want to know, or what they reflect on is like, how could I have got pile 3 to consider having a family with me? Like how could I have got them to consider having a deeper level commitment with me? You know, and I think you being represented as the Queen of Wands and the Empress here, pile 3, like you were well sought after. Like you're up there on your ivory tower, and you have a lot of people like you look down on, probably because they are a piece of shit and they did do you wrong, right? And I think you have a lot of people looking up at you, or looking at themselves, and some people around you probably feel a little bit vengeful towards you, very jealous, okay? But I also feel like for a lot of you, you've attracted a lot of demanding lovers, the jealous types, the ones that will create arguments if you're not showering them with a lot of time and attention, real selfish people. And I think what people want to know is like, how can they retract that behavior towards you? Like, how can they get back into your good books? But I kind of think with that, and that's why they would feel trapped with that 8 of Swords. So what I feel here, it's like you cut all communication off with people who don't serve your highest good, and then they sit in this state of fucking like despair, right? And they like sit there and they pine for you. They worry, like they sit there and they worry that they have burnt the bridge. And I actually feel like a lot of them have, because Empress people in that Empress energy, they get used and abused, like full-fledged, like probably one of the, out of all the tarot cards, I would have to say the Empress is the ultimate, you know, end game for some people. But little do they realize she may not be the Empress by the end of her journey, because of all the abuse she's been subjected to, or the abuse he has, right? So hopefully that makes sense. I definitely feel a more darker energy, or darker energies around this pile. So that definitely tells me you have been exposed to a lot of abuse in that regard. So I do hope that you are doing well, and I do hope that you are moving through those emotions and moving forward, because it is not it's not easy to move on from darkness, but it is possible. So what people want to know about you, I feel also with the Empress coming out, is like, where, like, and kind of coming back to the Strength card, like, where do you get the courage from to keep moving, right? And that probably is only coming from people who are aware of your situation, who are aware of things that you have, been exposed to or experienced, I would have to say. Like maybe with the Empress here, with the Queen of Wands, right? Like how do they show love? Like how do they worship you? Like how do they take action towards you? How can they nurture you? Like some of you could be quite, you know, like a very harsh energy, and maybe there's people around you who want to love the fuck out of you, right? And they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to, you guys could be heavily in your masculine energy because you've been forced with all the harsh lessons you've learned. So it could even be the fact, like what people want to know is like, how do they show up for you when you've only ever like shown up for yourself? So people around you are aware of your energy, your walls. And I also want to just touch on that Strength card. I definitely feel like I've got to be mindful of time, because we've only got a little bit left, and I'm sorry about that. But the Strength card would indicate like that courage, right? So then we have the 9 of Cups, right? People might want to know how much you are drinking at this time, okay? They might want to know, like, why do you get so wasted, if that aligns. If that doesn't align, it could be the fact like they want to know why they are drinking so much. You know, maybe it kind of comes down to this, you are a spell. Don't you love it when the cat comes in and fucks up your shit? Your little feet. Ah! So then we have the Tower, okay? I actually kind of going to sit with that. I actually think people want to know what Tower moments you've had, what trials and tribulations you have faced. Some of you have addiction problems with that 9 of Cups and the Tower, and people want to know what fucked up things have happened to you to make you so closed off. What fucked up things have happened to you? And it's not for malicious intent for a lot of you, pile 3. I think a lot of people want to know this so then they know how to love you, how to come towards you, you know, how to break down these walls. This is the 4 of Swords, but, you know, looks like the 4 of Wands, right? How do they get you to come out of isolation? Kind of circling back to that 8 of Swords now, but how do they get you out of like your rest, like rejuvenating energy in order to like let your guards down? It's not rejuvenating energy. It's like you may ghost people. Like, how do they break down your walls to let, like, for you to come in, for them to come into your home? Just be mindful. You might actually have people who want to come into your home to see what your home looks like. So you do have people around you who you need to watch out for, but you also have people around you who genuinely care about you. So this is tough. That's a tough energy to be in, right? It's definitely tough in the sense that when you don't know who to trust because everyone around you is like being untrustful or dishonest, I should say, untrustful, untrusting, that makes it very hard to like heal and move on because it's just one dilemma after another, right? But that 4 of Swords combined with the 4 of Wands, yeah, I think what people want to know is something about your home, okay? They want to know how can they bring you. You definitely have people who want to socialize with you and have a good time with you. I think they want to know how can they lure you out to a good time, to celebrate, to socialize with you, get you at an event instead of you staying at home. I think a lot of you are very happy in the home. And I think people just want to know like how to get you out and about. But yeah, look, I'm sorry I have to cut that short, but sending much love and light. I hope you enjoyed the kitty cat feet, and yeah, sending much love and light. Bye.